A military court in Egypt has sentenced 175 supporters of Muslim Brotherhood to life in prison over alleged charges of violence back in 2013. The court also handed down varying sentences to 42 others, including two senior figures of the Muslim Brotherhood, in the case of an anti-government protest in Minya, south of the capital, Cairo. The protesters were calling for reinstatement of ousted President Mohamed Morsi, who was deposed by the army in 2013. Last May, 6 people were executed after being convicted by a military court. Nearly 7,500 civilians have also faced military trials since April 2014. Were taking part in protests against the military-backed government of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Author and journalist Ali Al-Kabani joins us now from the British capital, London. Sir, welcome to the program. What do you make of this recent court ruling in Egypt? 175 life sentences for supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood.
A clear example of the brutality of the military regime which rules Egypt today. It's unconstitutional to try civilians in military courts, but even the Egyptian judiciary, which is really supporting the military coup in Egypt and taking the dictates of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the military ruler, is not enough for them, because they wanted their own military courts to try the civilians. So they issue against them the harshest sentence as a way to deter everybody in Egypt from expressing his opinion or opposing the military regime. In any country of the world, it is a human right for any citizen to reject the government, oppose the government, and expose their shortcomings. But in Egypt, if you oppose the government, they try you for treason or making the opposition of the military regime a crime in law. So it is, again, as I said, a clear example of the brutality and the oppression of the military regime, which stole the ruling in Egypt by launching the military rule against the elected legitimate president, and the first, actually, civilian president in the history of the Republic of Egypt.
Mr. Al-Kabani, another question that comes to the fore in this issue is the response by the international community. In similar cases, one would think that some countries who deem themselves as flag bearers of democracy, i.e. the United States, would be more vocal in opposing what is taking place in Egypt, but that's not the case.
Actually, the United States is very hypocritical when it comes to democracy in the Middle East. I wrote in the early 80s an article that democracy in the Middle East is against the interests of the United States. That's why they create these military rulers and dictators and the autocratic regime, so they can deal with one person. He takes their dictates and implement it. The military coup in Egypt of July 23, 1952 is made in America. So is the military coup of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in July 2013. So they need to deal with military rulers, and the Pentagon is in daily contact with the generals of the Egyptian army and with the president at the current time.
And one quick question. How long do you think this policy of crackdown against the opposition will go on in Egypt?
It will go on forever, because this military regime will not allow any opposition to their rule or anybody to expose their scandals, their corruption, their oppression, their tyranny. So it will carry on until and unless the Egyptian people launch again a strong uprising like the blessed revolution of 25th of January against the exposed President Mubarak before. So I believe and expect that the people will uprise again against this current military regime, especially with the complete economic collapse and the bankruptcy of the economy of Egypt under this ignorant regime.
Author and journalist Ali Al-Kabani joining us from London. Thank you, sir.